Lies about the Biden crime family and lies about the border next on One Nation. Hello, America. Welcome to One Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Jake Jacobs. I got to tell you what, it's back again. Hunter Biden's ubiquitous laptop is back, and it really reflects of the fact that the Biden family is a crime syndicate family, and more evidence, a preponderance of evidence is coming out that Joe Biden, Jim Biden, and Hunter Biden and that family is guilty for crimes against U.S. law. Let's look at some of the recent headlines. For example, the New York Post, the naked truth of the Hunter Biden laptop cover up, the deep swamp cover up. Look at the New York Times, Hunter Biden's tangles tail comes front and center. Even the lefty New York Times recognizes that. It's interesting about the New York Times is they're saying, look, it's not about Joe Biden, it's about Hunter Biden. Look at the next headline, the New York Post. IRS whistleblower cover-up of the Hunter Biden tax evasion in bombshell letter to Congress. More and more, we know this ubiquitous Hunter Biden laptop has been with us. The FBI has been investigating it since 2019. They lied about that. In fact, right now, thank God we have the House controlled by the Republicans because the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability is investigating the Biden crime syndicate. Now, you and I both know that in October of 2020, when the New York Post, the oldest newspaper in the United States of America, founded by the great founding father, Alexander Hamilton, came out and said, there's something rotten in Denmark, something rotten in Delaware, something rotten with the Biden family. The point is that his laptop not only indicted him, but pointed directly to Joe Biden when he was vice president in collusion with the government of Ukraine, the government of China, and even in Moscow, Russia. And they inverted all that reality of their corruption and said it was Donald Trump when it was Joe Biden and his family all along. Let's listen to, by the way, at this House committee that's been investigating the crime syndicate. Jim Jordan, I've worked with him before. He's absolutely brilliant, wonderful. He's a fighter like Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, but so is Florida Representative Matt Gaetz. Listen to Matt Gaetz here speak about the corruption when it comes to the Hunter laptop. Here goes.
So where is it? The laptop.
Sir, I'm not here to talk about the laptop. I'm here to talk about the FBI cyber program.
You are the assistant director of FBI Cyber. I want to know where Hunter Biden's laptop is. Where is it?
Sir, I don't know that answer.
That is astonishing to me. Has FBI Cyber assessed whether or not Hunter Biden's laptop could be a point of vulnerability, allowing America's enemies to hurt our country?
Sir, the FBI cyber program is based off of what's codified in Title 18, or Title 18, Section 1030, a code which talks about computer intrusions, right, using nefarious intent network.
But you've talked about passwords here. I mean, Hunter Biden's password on his laptop was Hunter02. He drops it off at a repair store. I'm holding the receipt from Max Computer Repair, where in December 2019, they turned over this laptop to the FBI, and what now you're telling me right here is that as the assistant director of FBI Cyber, you don't know where this is after it was turned over to you 3 years ago.
Yes, sir, that's an accurate statement.
How are Americans supposed to trust that you can protect us from the next colonial pipeline if it seems that you can't locate a laptop that was given to you 3 years ago from the first family, potentially creating vulnerabilities for our country?
Sir, it's not in the purview of my investigative responsibilities.
But that is shocking that you wouldn't, as the assistant director of cyber, know whether or not there are international business deals, kickbacks, shakedowns that are on this laptop that would make the first family suspect to some sort of compromise. Mr. Assistant Director, Have you assessed whether or not the first family is compromised as a result of the Hunter Biden laptop?
Sir, as a representative of the FBI cyber program, it is not in the realm of my responsibilities to deal with the questions that you're asking.
This is just unbelievable, people. The swamp is deeper and wider than ever before. The DOJ and the FBI is in collusion to protect the Biden crime syndicate family. You know, my dear, very dear friend, Senator Ron Johnson of the state of Wisconsin. I have a pic here with the former governor, Tommy Thompson. He was the governor of Wisconsin back in the 90s, and I've campaigned with Ron Johnson a number of times at emceed at a number of events. He's an absolute fighter when it comes to exposing the corruption within the Biden administration. But I'll be back in a moment for the rest of that story. Hello, America. Welcome back to One Nation. Now, I got to tell you, we just were talking about the corruption within the Biden crime family, and we have exposure that the FBI has been investigating Hunter's laptop, which connects directly to Joe Biden and Jim Biden and the Biden crime family. But Ron Johnson has been investigating that corruption for many, many years. And the mainstream media, the Democratic propaganda, the arm of the Democratic Party, the left wing elite media has been covering that up and has been attacking Ron Johnson. Well, he is pissed. I want you to hear him just a little bit ago speaking about the lies in the DC deep swamp. Here goes.
It is outrageous, the lies that this administration has been telling us repeatedly, and that those lies have been repeated by a compliant and complicit and corrupt media. Not Fox, not people like you, but the vast majority of the radical leftists in our media are covering up for policies that, I mean, if you laid out a plan designed to destroy this country, you could not come up with a better plan than what has been implemented by the Biden administration. This is outrageous. They're flooding the zone. I mean, there is so much. I mean, whether it's open borders, the flood of deadly drugs, the embarrassing and dangerous surrender in Afghanistan, 40-year high inflation, record gas prices, out-of-control crime in our cities. That's just the beginning of the list. Transgenderism, destroying our young people, critical race theory, exacerbating the racial divide. Across the board, radical leftism is destroying this country.
Radical leftism is destroying this country. I have been speaking about this for years and years and years. That's why I'm here in Arizona. By the way, I just saw Ron's home there back in Wisconsin. Makes me miss home. I'll be home hopefully in next program back in the studio. I miss the great studio back there in the state of Wisconsin. But here's the point. Ron, just like many others, like myself and many others, it could be Tucker Carlson, who just got fired because of exposing Big Farm's collusion with the Democratic Party. It could be Dan Bongino. It could be Charlie Kirk. It could be Duke Pesta. People like us, people who love America, people who believe in our constitutional federal republic under God, we're very concerned that this leftism, this wokeism is destroying the country. And there's a litany of issues that we could talk about, but this is a short show. We don't have time to go on issue by issue by issue. That's why you're going to have to watch more of One Nation. But here I am down in Arizona. I was at the border, Sassabee, Arivaca, Arizona, with Sheriff Jim Chilton, 84-year-old sheriff who says, "I'm not a wimp. I'm a rancher." And he says, "They're not kicking me off my ranch." Well, he took me to the border. He took me places where even the Border Patrol doesn't go. And I'm telling you, I saw firsthand. I felt it. I smelt it. I saw it firsthand, the lies of Mayorkas, the lies of Joe Biden, the lies of the wokocrats in Washington, D.C. They're lying to you and me. They're deceiving you and me about what's happening in our cities, in our schools, and at the border. In fact, when I did the filming just recently, here I am. There's a sign that Obama put up. Smuggling and illegal immigration may be encountered in this area. And so we're doing a series called American Crisis at the Border. dealing with this American rancher, Jim Chilton, dealing with the Pinal County Sheriff's Department, taking me where the cartel is smuggling in their drugs, their sex trafficking, their human trafficking. Fentanyl, heroin is exploding. We've seen it firsthand. I have other pics related to this. In fact, here's a picture of me in Mexico. That's on the other side of the border holding a carpet shoe. The cartel cover their feet with a carpet shoe so they can't be seen in the desert sand. And there's huge gaps in the wall. We call them the Biden holes, the Biden gaps. The one you're seeing right now is in Yuma, Arizona. I have many pictures in Sassabee and all along the southern border in Arizona of huge gaps that on January 20th, 2021, Biden ordered immediately that the wall be stopped, that the security be stopped, that support for the Border Patrol be stopped. And he even campaigned and said, surge to the border, illegal aliens, surge in the hundreds of thousands, surge in the millions. And they've come to the tune of almost 6 million illegal aliens. And along with that comes the human and sex trafficking, the drug trafficking in Fargo, North Dakota, in Minneapolis, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in Buffalo, New York, all across this country because of the globalist open border policies of Joe Biden and Mayorkas, Homeland Insecurity Secretary, who is lying to you and me. It's just unbelievable, people. You know, one of my favorite people in Congress right now is Taylor Greene, representative from Georgia. You've got to hear her speaking as they're investigating the Biden corruption, the Mayorkas lies. She says it like it is. She speaks truth into darkness, and they want her to erase it from the record, and she refuses to do so. Here goes. Let's listen to her speak.
How long are you going to continue this outrage, complete outrage, where China is poisoning America's children, poisoning our teenagers, poisoning our young people? How long are you going to let this go on?
Congresswoman, let me assure you that we're not letting it go on. We are fighting this.
No, I reclaim my time. You're a liar. You are letting this go on, and the numbers prove it. You can't lie about the facts, Secretary Mayorkas. While you live in denial and sit over there with this attitude that you're doing everything right, you are killing Americans with your policies. And that is a fact. Your policies are killing people, over 300 Americans a day, over 300, and it's outrageous.
It is outrageous, and he is a liar, and Joe Biden is a liar. He does that bogus photo op there in El Paso, and they clean everything up, and he's sitting there chumming with the Border Patrol. I've been there. I've seen it. And I'm telling you right now, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Mayorkas, and his administration are lying to you and me about what's happening on our southern border. They're lying about a lot of things when it comes to communist China, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to crime in American cities, when it comes to men pretending to be women and destroying women's rights in this country. You know, a brilliant historian who I'd highly recommend. He teaches history at Stanford and also Hillsdale College. Victor Davis Hanson has written a brilliant book called The Dying Citizen. And just recently, he wrote an article called Our French Revolution, Our French Revolution. And I cannot recommend enough you reading his book, The Dying Citizen, how progressives, elites, tribalism, and globalization are destroying the idea of America. And the idea of America is freedom and liberty from government control and government harm. They hate our constitutional federal republic under God, these wokocrats, these leftists. Listen to what he says in his article, Our French Revolution. We are in a Jacobin revolution of the sort that in 1793, 1794 nearly destroyed France. These things are getting scary. The Democratic Party vanished sometime in 2021. And I have been saying this over and over again. that the wokocrats, the hardcore leftists, have taken over the DNC, the Democratic Party. Joe Biden is a puppet of the radicals within the Obama administration, Susan Rice and others. And Obama even said so himself, that if he, could do it, he would control the strings and be able to control what's happening. This is exactly what's happening. This Biden administration, the incompetency, the hardcore leftism, is really the third administration of Barack Hussein Obama. And Obama was trained in critical race theory by Derek Bell, which was introduced in Madison, Wisconsin in 1989. He tells us in his autobiography that he was trained by Marxist professors. And they laughed at me in my book, Mobocracy, the Cultural and Radical War to Destroy Our Republic Under God, when I exposed that 11 years ago. They're not laughing anymore, because the fact of the matter is, these neo-Marxists, these cultural Marxists, these hardcore socialists, like the Socialist Squad, Ocasio-Cortez and others, they are hell-bent on destroying our heavenly values, on destroying our republic under God. And Victor Davis Hanson goes on to say, so the Democrats periodically threaten to pack the courts, end the filibuster, destroy the Electoral College, and override states' prerogatives to establish balloting laws. They deny committee assignments of the House Minority Leader. They engage in stunts like tearing up the State of the Union address on national television. With impunity, they mob the homes of Supreme Court justices to leverage their decisions. This revolution is run by elites and is a top-down operation. University deans all but prompt students to disrupt invited campus speakers. District attorneys release violent, arrested criminals without bail. Woke generals call their Chinese counterparts to warn them against their own commander-in-chief. And he says this, as the country collapses under leftist nihilism, the revolution's last gasp is to destroy Donald Trump. The Jacobins have 2 more years to finish what they have started, as the founders' dream descends into our worst nightmare. The revolution has so warped our legal system, our voting on election day, and the FBI and the CIA, the Justice Department and the IRS, that even a despised, unpopular left will win elections. My fellow Americans, citizenship is dying in America. Victor Davis Hanson, or maybe Jake Jacobs, should write a book called The Lying Politicians, The Lying DNC, The Lying Democratic Party, The Lying Wokocrats, these masters of deceit who invert and pervert reality. Men pretending to be women, going against women's rights in America, calling for defunding the police, and crime is going rampant in Chicago and Philadelphia and Los Angeles. Just here, where I'm staying in Phoenix, Arizona, homelessness and crime is exploding, and the Democrats are calling for more social justice, more redistribution of wealth, more money being given to the non-producers and to the moochers in American society. Defund the police, end the police. And when I wrote that book, Mob Rule, unmasking the radical leftists at our doorstep, I talked about the Marxism of Black Lives Matter. I talked about the radicalness of Antifa, who Joe Biden says is just an idea. What an idiot. Just an idea. Antifa's roots are Stalinist Marxism of Germany of the 1930s. People, Black Lives Matter Marxists and Antifa Marxist, socialist, Stalinist. These people are working in collusion with university professors at Berkeley, at University of California, Los Angeles, at Arizona State, University of Arizona, University of Wisconsin, Madison, Brandeis, all over the country. And they're teaching the teachers of America, and it trickles down. Actually, it's flooding down all the way now to the high school and the middle school and the elementary school. And to quote Vladimir Lenin, give me the child for 4 years, and he or she, and now to be woke, they or them or Z and they will be mine forever. They want our children. They're taking our children. They've won the textbooks. They've won the curricula. They've won the culture. They're winning the churches. And it's important for us to recognize the French Revolution was anti-Christian. The American Revolution was founded upon a Christian worldview. A Declaration of Independence that talks about natural laws, the laws of nature and nature's God. A Declaration of Independence that talks about our Creator as a source of our life and our liberty. A Declaration of Independence that says that God we depend upon is divine providence and that He is the supreme judge of the world. Where those individuals who advocate and disseminate anything goesism laugh at our Declaration of Independence. They laugh at our constitutional federal republic under God, and they're out to destroy the institutions that have made this the greatest republic in the history of the world, bar none. And I, for one, will not remain silent. It reminds me of the great writer who experienced the tyranny, the despotism of Soviet socialism, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Listen to what he had to say. The simple step of a courageous individual is not to partake in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the whole world. Here we are, America. We're at the precipice of their left's desire to destroy this great republic and transform it into the United States of socialism. And I, for one, will not live by their lies. And I want to encourage you to not live by their lies, to be bold, to take action, to be involved, to be engaged, to be aware of what's happening around us. To hell with Fox News and all these people who have gone woke on us. Let us do our own research, our own understanding of what has made the United States of America great, and let us no longer be duped by their lies. Mayorkas and Biden and the rest of those ilk are lying to us. Enough already. Our republic is dying and it's crying out to us. The spirit of 1776 is crying out to us to be bold and courageous and to say, here we stand. We can do no other. We will face evil and the darkness of wokeism and say, you will not fool us. You will not take our children. You will not take the United States of America over our cold, dead hands. So until we meet again, my fellow Americans, Godspeed in the battles ahead and happy trails to you.